This episode is brought to you by Progressive Commercial Insurance. Business owners, meet Progressive Insurance. They make it easy to get discounts on commercial auto insurance and find coverages to grow with your business. Quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
When you're separating from the military, no one tells you how hard it can be to get your civilian life up to speed. But with VA benefits, it doesn't have to be. From the VA home loan requiring no down payment, to the GI Bill covering tuition, books, and cost of living, to VA healthcare offering top-ranked, low-cost care designed specifically for veterans. All the support you need is at VA. I'm here telling every veteran because I wish someone had told me, get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
This episode is brought to you by Principles. Are there limits to the U.S. government's debt growth? What will happen if the debts are not curtailed? What should policymakers or investors do? Those are urgent questions that legendary investor and New York Times bestselling author Ray Dalio addresses in his new book, How Countries Go Broke: The Big Cycle. The book comes out in June and is available for pre-order today, wherever books are sold.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon Business. How can you free up your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business empowers leaders to not only streamline purchasing, but better support their teams so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more about the technology, insights, and support available at amazonbusiness.com.
The Rams traded up and selected running back Jarquez Hunter in the 4th round. What is his role going to be with the Rams? We'll talk about that next on this Round 4 draft reaction episode here on the Rams Up Podcast Network. What's going on, Rams Nation? Welcome back to the Rams Up Podcast Network. Like this video, subscribe to the channel here if you're on YouTube. It helps out the algorithm for other Rams and football fans to see this video and our content. If you're on the podcast side of things, share this podcast with all your fellow Rams and football fans. All those things, we on this channel very much appreciate it. But let's get into it, Rams Nation. The Rams trade up and select running back Jarquez Hunter in the 4th round, 117th overall. So what did the Rams do in this trade? Well, let's pull up exactly what they did. So the trade details. The Rams traded with the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts received our 4th round, 127th overall pick, and they also received round 6, the 190th overall pick from today's draft. And the Rams received a 117th overall in round 4. And they selected running back from Auburn, Jarquez Hunter. He was first team all SEC there with the Auburn Tigers, as all his peers in the conference recognized him to be one hell of a running back. And he led Auburn with 1,201 rushing yards and 8 rushing touchdowns. So let's talk about a few things before I get into what I saw with my own 2 eyes when I was watching film on him within the last couple of weeks. So here is a post on X Twitter from Warren Sharp, Sharp Football, Sharp Analytics. This is him quoting Peter Schrager, now ESPN reporter, formerly with the NFL Network, and he is very, very close with Sean McVay and is very, very close to what the Rams are doing all the time. So here is Sharp sharing what he heard from Peter Schrager. New Rams running back Jarquez Hunter from Auburn was the Rams' top-rated offensive player on the board entering day 3. Les Snead had an eye on him since the fall. After a Zoom call before the draft with Sean McVay and Snead, they immediately said, quote, "That's our guy if he's still there on day 3," per Peter Schrager. So this is somebody that the Rams really, really wanted. This is somebody Sean McVay clearly really wanted. This is someone, former Auburn Tiger himself, General Manager Les Snead, really wanted. And so, hey, they used low round draft capital to move up 10 spots and select him. So let's pull up his RAS score, or his relative athletic score. You could say it that way. It's probably the proper way to say it. As Kentley Plate shares these fun analytic stats throughout the draft. So Jarquez Hunter was drafted around 4, pick 117th in the 2025 draft class. He scored a 7.17 RAS out of possible 10. This ranked 598 out of 2,106 running backs that have gotten their scores from 1987 up until this 2025 draft class. So he scored a 7.17. As you're here on YouTube tuning in with me, you can see all his measurables, right? His height, not ideal. His weight, not ideal. His bench press reps, about good. His vertical and broad jump are good. His 10-yard split is good. Now, his 20-yard split is considered great. His 40-yard dash with a 4.44 is considered great. So, with all that in mind, I'm going to share my thoughts on him, what I saw with my own 2 eyes watching the film, not just highlights, play in and play out. What did I see? How did I grade him? So, I gave him a 5th round grade. And let's talk about what I saw with my own 2 eyes. So we'll start with that speed. How about that? His speed on tape to me was good. It wasn't some, oh my God, look at him dash by and run by everybody every single time. It was definitely not that, as I see a lot of, analysts kind of veer towards that viewpoint, and I totally disagree. He's a fast player. He's got good speed, but he isn't this, oh my God, lightning in a bottle dude. He's flying by a defender. That's definitely not it, but he's got good speed. In terms of his overall acceleration, he hits his final gear, in my opinion, very, very fast. But in terms of, is there another gear after that when he gets in the open space? I don't think so. So overall acceleration in terms of, building up speed over time, I think is about average. In terms of, again, his overall measurables and all that, the Rams really enjoy these smaller, quote-unquote, running backs. Kyron Williams isn't a big guy. Blake Corum isn't a big guy. Ronnie Rivers isn't a big guy. Neither was Cam Akers or Darrell Henderson, or majority of other dudes that have been drafted by us in recent history. The only big guys you can consider is probably Todd Gurley, maybe Malcolm Brown. But, big running backs is definitely not a part of Sean McVay unless needs forte and liking, which is fine. We've had a lot of good running backs that don't need to be these huge, humongous sons of guns to run the football good. So there you go on that. In terms of his other important measurables from what I saw on tape, how is he with his power and strength? I think it's pretty dang good. Now, he is at his core, I believe, a power running back. Yes, he is smaller, but he loves to bulldoze through guys. He loves to lower his shoulder and say, F it, we're going to carry this pile. I think he does a great job for him being 205 pounds, moving the pile. And I think that's one of his quote-unquote superpowers that I have enjoyed. In terms of him hurdling dudes, it seems like he does that quite a bit, as juking guys out, right? Doing crazy jump cuts to get guys to miss, right? In terms of saying, there's dudes coming in the backfield, I got to make them miss or break through that. That's definitely not his forte. That is not what he does well in. He's more of all right, we're going forward. Let me read, cut, make a move, and then get north and south, and let's get you positive yardage. And if I got to run dudes over and move the pile, I'll absolutely do that. And I think that is very good, that I enjoyed seeing on tape overall.
Bring on your business challenges, the complex ones, the ones that seem to change every day, the ones that are so nuanced no one else could possibly understand them. Bring them all on. Key has a team of banking experts specialized in your industry, always ready to take your call and offer trusted solutions. And we go even further, staying ahead of trends so that you have answers before you even knew you needed them. Bring on your business challenges. Key Bank opens doors. Learn more at key.com/B2B.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Not everyone is careful with your personal information, which might explain why there's a victim of identity theft every 5 seconds in the US. Fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity. If your identity is stolen, a US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year by visiting lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by Honda. Introducing the all-new, all-terrain Honda Passport Trail Sport, the most off-road capable Honda Passport Honda has ever dreamt up. The Passport features increased ground clearance, roof rails on all trims, and available specially developed all-terrain tires. And you'll stay comfortable with tri-zone climate control and available features like heated and ventilated front seats and a panoramic moonroof. Learn more at honda.com/passport.
Elevate your home and linen care routine with Rowenta steam stations. Stubborn wrinkles? Delicate fabrics? With Rowenta, consider it done. Our steam stations deliver professional quality results in a fraction of the time of a regular iron. High-powered steam output, lightweight, portable design. Visit rowentausa.com today and experience the difference.
Now let's talk about some other skill sets that I saw on tape as I pull up some of my other notes on him. In terms of his vision, I think it's good. He is very versatile. Luckily, the University of Auburn ran different styles of run plays. He did the zone run plays, inside and outside. So he's able to follow the quote-unquote bang, bound, and bounce, or bang, bend, and bounce rules for a running back, which is if you see something straight ahead, go ahead and quote-unquote bang forward and get yardage. If you see a cutback, then go ahead and bounce it back. If there's nothing there from those two first options, then go ahead and bounce it to the outside. He does a good job with that for zone run plays. In terms of the gap stuff, right, where you're running power, you're running duo, which we do a ton, you're running wham plays, trap, counters, whatever other run play that involves running to a specific area, gap, power schemes, he does a good job of that too. So he's very versatile. He's not a player that succeeds in one style of run play over the others. So that's very good that I enjoyed. But I do think he's a little bit better in zone, but he can work in the gap stuff that we do. And I think the Rams will be, a little more balanced this season instead of just going tons and tons of gap. I think that'll be something they emphasize, and I think he'll be able to handle it. In terms of his, patience sometimes, I think he's so quick to say, oh, I got to get yards. There are times where I felt like he could have waited a little bit more for his linemen to develop their blocks and be able to create lanes for him. But that is something that can be coached up, and he'll be able to develop that skill set. And I think it'll be better when he gets with the Rams and the Rams coaching staff and Sean McVay. I think that skill set will be developed and he'll be a lot better in. In terms of, his other stats of like, how does he do, with his creativity of, oh, did he make this guy miss? Did he make something out of nothing? That's definitely not his forte in terms of like, the play is going to be a disaster. What did he do out of that, right? There's some stats out there that say like, what do ball carriers and pass catchers and any skill player do when things are going to hell and they got to make something out of nothing? That's definitely not his skill set. When things are going horrible, he's not going to necessarily turn into a touchdown or something dramatic. And there are some good moments where he does make some good plays, but when things are disastrous, is he going to make something incredible happen? No, that is not his skill set. He doesn't have that magical skill set. Most players don't, but that's something to keep an eye on, as well as, sometimes you're always hoping a player just has this, this magical ability to make crap out of nothing. And I don't think that's his style, but you never know. He could become that guy in the NFL. And in terms of his route running, his receiving ability, I mean, they didn't use him a ton in the passing game, but what I saw him running routes, I think it's below average. That's something he can work on and be coached up on and learn techniques and footwork and all that department. And in terms of his catching, everything looked a little difficult to me when he did make some catches. Now, is it something that can be coached up in? Absolutely, and I think that will improve as well. And something else that drastically needs to improve on, speaking of the passing game, is his pass blocking. It's average to below average at best. Now, in terms of, let's just say, his effort, I don't think the effort's an issue, but I think with his smaller size and all that, he needs a better anchor. Anchor meaning, and this is a term you use for any player at any position, like, all right, you're sitting still and you got to take on dudes, full force trying to get through or you trying to block them. You got to hold your ground. I think that's something that he can work on. And, all reports saying that he can squat a lot and that he's a strong lower base. And, when he's running the football, it definitely pops up. So I think that comes with technique, not just throwing your body, being able to get a nice base, widen your feet, not too wide, not too, short in between either. This is all stuff that can be coached up, and I think it will. So all of that, Rams Nation, led me with a 5th round grade on him. And the Rams are saying, hey, we see the special skills. We think we can coach him up and everything else. And I think what's the biggest thing is, again, he did not look like a 4.4, 40-yard dash running back, what I saw on film. He's got good speed, but I didn't see anything that fast, in my opinion. And maybe the Rams, and I'm sure this is what they believe, is like, okay, we're going to coach him up. We're going to get him to be able to run 4.4, majority of the time when he's out there getting the football, with, handoffs, pitches, maybe some catches out of the backfield, screens. I think he could be really good in, and he's got some open space, I believe. And they're saying, all right, we're going to be able to get him to run 4.4. We like that he's a power back. We like that he likes to bulldoze dudes. We like that he's a pile mover. He's not afraid of contact. He's used to being the lead guy with an offensive line that was average at best. And, with an offensive team that really wasn't good overall outside of him. I think they're leaning on all those traits and they're saying, we can get something good out of him. And I think more times than not, the Rams are pretty right on these guys in round 4, 5, 6, and 7. So, do I think the trade up and them selecting him in round 4 was a little bit of a reach for me? Yes. But I can't hate coaches for believing in a player and doing what they can to go up and get him, and that's what the Rams did. Obviously, what Peter Schrager said a little bit earlier, as they had to get him going into day 3. So, what is his role going to be going forward, Rams Nation? Well, he's obviously going to be competing for that second running back spot behind Kyren Williams. Is he going to be overtaking Ronnie Rivers? Who knows? He's got to earn it. He's going to be overtaking 3rd-round pick from last year, Blake Corum, who I really like and who I thought had really good explosive plays in the limited carries that he got. Think about all those times where he had big explosive runs and they got called back because of a holding penalty on offense or some dumb offensive illegal procedure penalty or some other dumb penalties that seemed to happen every time he had a good run, it felt like. I'm a big fan of him. So, could this also be of like, hey, we're drafting somebody that we're going to mold and develop, and obviously he'll get some playing time, I believe, based on, stuff I've seen on film. Is this somebody that could be the duo going forward if Kyren Williams is not re-signed this upcoming season? That's very much a possibility as well. So, we'll see what happens with Jarquez Hunter. A good football player. And I think he has a lot of skills to develop that can make him a really damn good football player. Maybe even great if he hits all these other things that I saw on film that need some work, which led me to having a 5th round grade on him. But again, not mad at the pick. And we'll see what happens with him when we hope that he develops and becomes a fantastic difference maker on offense, as we need some running backs to have some home run hitting ability. And based on that 40-yard dash speed, it's in him. And we'll see if the Rams can elevate that out of him in the NFL games. So, Rams Nation, how do you feel about Hunter being selected by the Rams? Do you think it was a reach? Were you surprised it was running back here in this spot? And how do you feel about Hunter as a player? Do you think that he will become the lightning to Kyren Williams Thunder style play, the Blake Corum style Thunder play? Do you think he'll be that? Let me know in the comment section. And don't forget, like this video, share this video here if you're on YouTube, and share this podcast if you're on the podcast side of things with all your fellow Rams and football fans out there, Rams Nation. I very much appreciate it. But that'll do it here on this round 4 draft reaction episode. But never forget, baby, go Rams.
Are we still on the trail? Is this pack getting heavier? More switchbacks? Why am I doing this?
At REI Co-op, we believe there are places within ourselves
Just a little further. You got this.
that we find only outside.
Wow. Look at the stars. This is incredible.
We have the gear, inspiration, and advice to help you get there. REI Co-op. Visit rei.com.